Hey everybody, it's Coach Tammy, and I want to show you today how to do an everyday grapevine. This is the most used recipe in my shop. I use this at least 2 or 3 times a week. I love to do multiples, especially during the fall and Christmas season. And this is what I call, and you guys may have heard me refer to it as, my 7-minute multiple. And this is a little bit different variation because usually I only use two. But I love the variegated ferns on this and this leaf pick. And I love the way it could go for fall. It could go for spring. It could go whenever you would like, depending on, where you're at. I am using a 14-inch oval. I love to use the 14 or 18-inch ovals. Those are 14 or 16-inch ovals. Those are my favorites. I love them. So the first step I do with a 7-minute multiple is I lay the two largest foundations next to each other. You're going to want to cut some of that. You don't need all this. You open up his mouth, you feed him, and you cut that little stinker. And I'm telling you, that is a thick pick. But normally you can just pop it just like that and do the exact same placement on the next one, on the second. And you can hear it pop, Just get your fingers out of the way. That's all I'm asking you. As your coach, we like your phalanges. Keep your fingers out of the way. So now I have this. So these are all pushers. I like to push them up a little bit. You're going to see why in just a second. This is where I'm going to start using the zip ties. When I do a 7-minute multiple, you will see me use zip ties. Now, I'm going to lay the two foundation pieces. We're going to fluff this fern, which is gorgeous. Oh my gosh, I would love cases of this. This is stunningly pretty. And y'all know I don't love all the whirligigs, but man, I love this. Okay, so again, we're going to cut this down a smidge. You don't need all that. You just don't. It's not a have to, but it's definitely a want to. So then I'm just going to put it all together. This is it, you guys. I'm not joking. It's this simple. Find things that are color coordinating. I usually do two because those are going to be hidden. So I just like to go in here and I separate out these whirligigs and I just kind of do some with a couple of fingers. And I don't make them, I like to keep the natural element. See how I fanned that out? It's going to make more sense in just a minute. You just grab this and start fanning it. And in just a second, it'll make a lot more sense. Now, on this 14-inch, I'm coming in right in the middle. I'm going down through the guts of the grapevine. Down through the guts. I never, ever, 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 ever go around because it'll slide. But if you put it in the guts, all those leaves and things, the guts are the inside of the grapevine. Now, as long as you go around one side, you can go around the other, right? So just put it in there around the guts. And I like to make my first attachment between those two because guess what, friends? It's never moving. It's never sliding because it's between those two ever. Okay? Now I like to take the buckles. That's those little blocks, and I like to put them there. Now, this is if somebody just wants a simple greenery wreath. Now, what I like to do is I come in here and I start at the bottom, not the fern, but the flat fern. And I start moving it in the direction of the grapevine. Same thing down here. You don't have to. Some people, and you can see how I curved that. And then just take your fingers and move it apart. Do not mess that little mossy piece up. Those are stinking fantastic. Okay? Look how cute already that is. Now all you have to do is to make a juicy bow. Now it's going to be a little bit more difficult because I got to cover all this up. So I'm going to need a 12 to 16 inch loop. All right, so I'm going to pull it apart. We are going to do some tails. What I like to do is see exactly how long I need those. So that's going to be about 15 inches. And remember, you can always cut shorter. You can't add to. So pinch it, twist it, big, juicy bow. 8 to 10 inch loops. Remember, you have all this area to cover. 8 to 10 inch loops. An 8-inch loop is really a good choice because there's going to be a lot of them. Okay? And what I'm going to do is just keep going. I've got me a little shoelace bow right there. Pinch, twist, loop again. We're going to do this part about 8 times. Pinch, twist, loop again. Pinch, twist, loop. Pinch, twist, loop. Now, I have 8 on each side right now. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this one up. That's going to have a shorter side to it. Now I'm going to add this one. We're only going to do 4 loops. And I am still making them almost 8 inches, right at maybe 7.5, almost equal with those. I don't want to be graduated in too far, but I do want them to be equal. Okay. Let's do 6 on this one. 3 on each side. Let's do that. See how they're all pretty equal? That one is coming in hot. I don't like the way that one's looking. There it goes. Cut it. Now, the last one I'm going to do is more for an embellishment. If you guys have never used the jute window pane ribbon, y'all are missing out. What have you been doing with your life? The 1.5 inch rocks my face off. It's so good. And it's just a different natural element feel. I love it. I'm going to go ahead and cut it right there. I'm going to come in with a zip tie. Turn this bad boy over. I'm going to go ahead and come in and snip that tie. I usually do not do this part, but you can. Now, I don't want a blunt blank area over there, okay? I don't. So on this particular one, I'm just going to add 2 to 3 pieces. This 7-minute multiple turned into about 10 because I'm going to add some little areas over here. Clip them. Use the pushers, push them up, clip them. I'm just going to start off with 4. Sometimes it takes more, but not generally. Now, before I put the bow in, I'm coming in right here, okay? And I'm just coming into the side, okay? So see how this is coming out like that? All right, just coming right here. And now I'm going to come in right to the side of that. Okay. See what we're doing here? We're creating an area that is not a blank space. See what this does? Now all I have to do is put this pipe cleaner over it. It is a natural pipe cleaner. It's kind of fuzzy, and I'm going to leave it like that. Well, I'm not going to leave it like that. I'll show you what I'm going to do with it because I have to. Okay. So I just covered that right up. Okay. Now we're just going to come around Our job is to get underneath this bracket. It'll happen. There it goes. See? Oh, ye of little faith. All right. So one of my favorite things to do, you got a couple of options here. Now, that's a big ball for this. That's a little one. I like the little one. If I had one that was in between these two, I would use it, but I don't. But I am going to use that, okay? So what I'm doing right now is just fluffing the rest of my stuff, okay? 45-degree angles. Now this one's going to be a little bit shorter. Right here, right here. Remember, I did 8 of these loops because I needed them to cover all of my bases. See, if I really, oh, I love that, but I'm not. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I want to do it, but I'm not going to do it. So I just go ahead and glue that bobble on. Just like that. Real stinking easy. And you can add a sign to it. You can put a high over here. You could even make less of a bow and just do a big elongated bow. You can do it however you like. I like a big juicy bow when I'm doing this one. All right, y'all. Be blessed. I will talk to you guys super soon.